The American Conference looks to be the team or the conference that shows their Group of 5 team. Go ahead and bring up if you got the odds for everybody to make. Do you have it? I don't think we ever made that. That's fine.
I don't think so.
The American has 2 to 3 of the teams outside of Boise State, who is the current favorite to be a Group of 5 team to make the playoff, and those teams are some of the teams up at the top of their odds in the American. Tulane is up there. Memphis is up there pretty highly. And then Navy is really the one on the outside. A team Jack's going to get into, UTSA, is up there as well, but they are a little bit lower down on the list. It's going to be an interesting conference for them. There's potential movement around here as well. Memphis, of course, was looking to get into Big 12, but that could not occur for them. Navy is going to be an interesting story again this year, like they were last year with Army and Navy. Blake Horvath returns, probably the best quarterback in the conference, threw for 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, and then ran for 1,200 yards and 17 touchdowns last year.
Dog.
Tulane, who is the favorite to win the American, is an interesting story, and they're the second odds favorite to reach the playoff outside of Boise State. They had to replace a ton of guys, specifically their quarterback, Darian Mensah, who went to Duke. They bring in a transfer, Caden I'm not going to pronounce his last name.
Let me see.
Simonza?
Yeah, Simonza.
Simonza, we'll go with that. He is a transfer from Ball State, led the MAC in passing yards last season, as well as touchdowns and completions at Ball State. He comes in. Owen McCown, who Jack will talk about in a little bit, starting quarterback for UTSA. We can get into his story when we get there. The other one, if you're looking for guys to watch out for this season, there's a few, and I will give you them from each conference. If you're turning on an American football game, try to turn on these schools because quarterback play is what you want to see. South Florida, Byron Brown returns. In my opinion, he's the most fun quarterback to watch in the conference. He got hurt last season and wore a boot for much of the year, and that's a storyline or a kind of storyline we'll talk about a ton because college football is stupid and they don't tell you who got hurt or what happened because they're not necessarily like legally obligated to or whatever the terminology is.
Some just straight up refuse.
Yeah, exactly. Byron Brown was in a boot last year, and that's all I can tell you about his injury. In fact, I don't even remember which foot it was on, but he got hurt last season, but he had 2 competitive games against Alabama in the past 2 years, the one in South Florida that they almost lost with Ty Simpson. And then last year, they were in a competitive game, and then Jalen Milroe kind of turned it on late in the third and fourth quarter. He threw for nearly 3,300 yards, 26 touchdowns, and then he ran for 845 and 11 touchdowns 2 seasons ago. He returns to play quarterback at South Florida again this year. Another interesting storyline would be North Texas. Their quarterback, Reese Poffenbarger, would be the way I would try to pronounce that.
Yeah, I think that's a good read on the name. Fire name, by the way.
Yes, he played a bunch at the FCS level for the University of Albany. He was in the Miami quarterback room last year, so maybe he got some magic sauce, magic touch from Cam Ward, potentially. Maybe if he touched hands with him, kind of like Thunderstruck. Excellent movie with Kevin Durant.
Seen it multiple times.
0 FBS starts yet, so that I don't know if North Texas is going to get what they want. Mississippi State podcasts, Eastern Carolina, if you're a Bulldog, may be a potential spot to look. Right now, the starting quarterback is Caton Hauser. Hauser started at Michigan State, played multiple games for them in 2023 before transferring to ECU and started 9 games last season. The backup quarterback and has the potential to start at some point this season, and I hope he does, is none other than Class Clown, wore the Randy costume from Monsters, Inc. to school on Halloween. Mike Wright, Bulldog legend, even though he never won an Egg Bowl. Mike Wright, from Vanderbilt to State to Northwestern, and he's now an East Carolina Pirate. Sanders, do you have high expectations for Mike Wright at Eastern Carolina?
Not at all.
Okay.
Did he start for the A&M game that we went to in person?
He did not. That
Parsons
was
started?
Parsons
Was
started,
Wright
did.
hurt?
and then Wright came in
Okay.
later in the
Because
game.
Parsons at one point in the third quarter was
He had 2 or 3 picks.
he was 2 for 3 or something like that with 3 picks.
yeah.
Then he'd be 2 for 5. Oh, 2 for 3 and then so he was 2 for 6.
Yeah, something like that. I don't.
Yeah,
it was
Mike
bad.
Wright just stands out in my brain as being a part of that second half of the season after Will Rogers got hurt, where we were just like, start Mike Wright, and Mark Wright would play 2 drives and be like, put in Chris Parson, and Parson would come in and be like, no, Wright's better. Like
Find
as a,
someone from the stands.
yeah, as a fan, it was just like we could not be satisfied, and semi-understandably so, because the quarterback play when Rogers went down was pretty bad, and we kept lying to
Worse.
ourselves. Kept lying to ourselves that it could get better if we just put in the other guy. And then the other guy would come in and we would realize that he was also not good.
Yeah, Mike's first start for State was at Arkansas, and his first pass of the game is they were in shotgun, and he rolls out to the right, and he throws a beautiful pass, sideline grab, toe tap
Yep.
to an Arkansas DB. First pass of the game. We ended up winning that game, and
Was that the 7-3 game?
it was one of the worst football games I've ever watched in
I
my
watched
entire
it
life.
with you, I believe.
Yes.
And the whole time I was like, y'all are fine because y'all scored a touchdown, and Arkansas can't score a
Yes.
touchdown.
They-
So y'all won the race to 1
Do
touchdown.
you remember that what was the play, the QB dive into the end zone, the ball got punched out, Arkansas stripped it and took it back, but it got called back because they were off a false start?
Something like that.
We got
yes.
saved by our own false start or illegal motion, like a
Yes.
snap the defense couldn't
Y'all's own
decline.
incompetence
And
saved
so
y'all.
we ended up having a penalty called on us, and they had to bring back the scoop and score. I mean, it saved our. That's the only reason we didn't lose 10-7.
That was a rough game.
That was Mike's first start for State, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was his only win as a starting quarterback for State, unless there was another one. I watched him at Auburn, and that was actually kind of an inspiring performance by him, but he ended up choking the game late there in a game we should have won on the Plains. The last one I'll say is Caden Veltkamp, a transfer from Western Kentucky, who led Conference USA in passing yards with 3,100, touchdowns, and completion percentage, and he was the Offensive Player of the Year in Conference USA last year. He's now the starting quarterback for FAU, and that's someone to watch out for. But that kind of recaps all the starting quarterbacks for the American. Last one I didn't mention, Brendan Lewis, Memphis likely starting quarterback, although they have a quarterback battle there. Started 1 year at Colorado before being benched for the now UTSA starting quarterback, Owen McCown. He also left Colorado because of Deion Sanders, leaves the year Deion gets there. Started 2 years in Nevada, dual threat, really fun to watch. Not a prolific passer, ran for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns last season. But that leads into Jack's pick for a Group of 5 team to make the playoff, the UTSA Roadrunners.
Sure.
This is not just your conference winner. This is your playoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say I believe Brendan Lewis was the starter of the Colorado game against A&M, where Hans King broke his leg and we won 10-7, thanks to a Zach Calzada touchdown to Isaiah Spiller on a wheel route with like 47 seconds left.
How about that?
Terrible game. But we won. So
It's huge.
yeah, UTSA is my my pick to make the College World Playoff as a Group of 5 team. Or I guess my pick that wasn't taken, since I think Boise State rightfully has the best odds to get it done, just because they were great last year. They returned a good amount of starters for a Group of 5 team, because doing the preview, I quickly learned that if you're a Group of 5 team, the turnover is
It's insane.
it's nuts.
Yeah, don't
Players
go
are
look
moving
at
like
Southern
crazy.
Miss's depth chart. It's all orange for transfers, the
Mhm.
entire team.
Yeah,
I mean, that's also, but that's, I mean, P4 schools look like that when they have a coaching change too. That's more of a coaching change than a.
It's
it's
I
scaring
think-
some state fans. That's all I'll say.
yes,
It's scaring me. Other
For
state
no
fans
reason.
have not picked up on that yet, but we'll
Yeah.
find out
There's no reason to be scared.
Sure.
later. Do we find out this month?
Yes.
Let's go.
Continue.
We'll be watching college football this month. Crazy that y'all won't be in the stadium for that game because it's at Southern Miss.